All right, everyone. We are back and we are pressed for time because I'm still in Jersey and I'm recording in my teenage sister's bedroom and she needs to go to sleep. But Al, I think you and I can do it. We can do some good stuff in 20 minutes. What do you think?
Absolutely. And it's a nice bedroom. I love that bedroom.
Yeah, she does. It's like now we have like an acoustic guitar in here. It's like very Laurel
Oh.
Canyon vibes, very like, teen Pottery Barn. She has much better taste than me.
Is that
I
a thing, Teen Pottery Barn? Does that exist?
Oh yeah, Teen Pottery Barn. Yeah, no. No, my sister and my mother have really good taste. I basically like I remember once a friend of mine from LA walked in my apartment and she said that my decor reminded her of a Russian dominatrix. Which
That makes sense.
I don't really think was a compliment, but I looked around and I'm like, yeah, she's probably right. There's like a lot of chrome and leather and white, black and silver. But it is what it is. So our last episode, which I was a little bit nervous about, was a big success actually. It was probably our highest viewed video on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, we did good. What do
Yeah.
you credit that to?
Probably the fact that we were talking about nudes and it was very salacious. But
Yeah.
you know what, it made me think that like from here on out, we should just go for broke. Like I'm not gonna worry anymore if like what I'm talking about is too crazy because it seems like that's what the people want. They want the crazy, like the dirty, the ugly, all of that. They don't want
Have
like the
have we
bullshit.
ever not talked about that? I mean, we always talk about something dirty.
No, we've always like pushed the envelope, and every time we do, I'm like, okay, maybe I should, maybe dial it back a little bit or talk about something else. I don't want to be pigeonholed into just talking about, crazy sex stuff. But I feel like when we do, people love it. So, like I said, I'm just going to kind of keep going on that trajectory, knowing full well that, I'm pretty much out of my parents' will completely by now. So it is what it is.
Have they mentioned the show recently?
They have. It wasn't super pleasant. So I feel like I'm always like, tiptoeing around. And then the other day I told you that I know I told you this story already, but for the listeners and the viewers, so I don't understand how the cloud works and how photos update to the cloud. I don't think that anybody really does. And so I had obviously taken some scandalous pictures of myself last week. And then I'm sitting at the kitchen table and I hear my dad say, what are these new photos that have updated to the cloud? And my stomach sank, like all the way down to my feet. I was like, oh, I literally thought, oh my God, my nudes are on the family computer. I panicked. I full on panicked. So I like looked over and thank God it was like pictures from my brother's fishing trip that he willingly like drop boxed into the cloud. But still, I was like, oh my God, God forbid. Could you imagine like the scarring of my family if like all of a sudden just on the family computer, like there was like a photo dump of my topless photos? Like, what? I can't even. They're
I
already
mean,
mad at
it's gonna
me.
happen at some point in the future. You're gonna have public nude photos, right? Like
Yeah.
maybe when you're in your 30s or in your 40s, you're gonna have to get used to it.
Sure, but I also don't want my family to be the testing pool for those photos. You know what I
No,
mean?
yeah,
So,
now is not the right time. I agree on that.
and I've scarred them enough as is. Speaking of scarring them though, as you know, like throughout the pandemic, I've lost like a pretty significant amount of weight. Mainly because I couldn't get food. Everybody else was, eating away during the pandemic. I don't know where they were getting food from, but I could not procure food. So I lost a bunch of weight, which obviously is awesome. But I've never been this thin in my, honestly, since I don't even remember, like probably before high school, I haven't been as thin as I am now. And so there's all these things that I'm noticing about my body that I've never noticed before. And the thing that lately has been on my mind is that I've lost all this weight and I still have the chubbiest vagina I've ever seen. Like,
I mean, that's not a bad thing necessarily. Some people pay for that.
I know, and then you told me that, and I'm still in disbelief. I've heard about like ass injections or like, a boob job, whatever, lip injections. I've never heard of a vagina injection. You're
No, yeah,
telling me
there's
this is
Instagram
real.
models. There's I mean, yeah, it tends to be Instagram models. They like to have a nice, meaty pussy, so it shows up when they wear leggings or whatever.
Really? Like, is that what you're telling me? 2020 and camel toe is in? Like, is
It's in. It's bigger than ever.
wow. I mean, I guess I should be somewhat excited about that. I assume that
Yeah.
like every other part of your body though, like as you lost weight, like it would lose weight too. But no, I mean, you could still bounce a quarter off this thing. There's just so much cushioning, and I feel like I look down in the shower and I'm like, like my thighs are saying Rihanna, but my vagina is saying Oprah. Like they are not aligned right now. And yeah, I mean, I don't, I guess I'm not super worried about like, oh, what a guy is going to think about it, but I was curious, like, does it matter?
It doesn't matter to me, but I'm sure there's guys on the internet especially pick apart any part of a woman,
Yeah.
so there's going to be guys that have a problem with it.
Right. I mean, I would like to think though that like during sex, it's kind of like a dad bod. Like to me, chubby vagina is to woman what dad bod is to man. Like maybe it's not the best thing aesthetically, but it definitely feels better, right? Like you want a soft landing. We all want a soft landing. Nobody wants a hard landing.
No, I completely agree. Yeah.
So I don't know. And also, by the way, I talked about this in my UFC recap, and I'm bringing it up again for you and I. So during the fights on Saturday night, one of the fighters' coaches, when they were taking a break, poured water down his shorts, like, basically in the middle of the fight on live television. And I was like, I didn't know what was going on. I had to ask a bunch of my friends who train mixed martial arts. I'm like, is this a thing? And sure enough, it is. Like, they're like, oh, yeah, like it gets really hot down there. So you just need to cool it off. You need to cool off your balls so the rest of your body cools down also. Did you know about that?
Yeah, absolutely. It does get very hot and sticky and gross and uncomfortable. So you definitely want to get it wet. But at the same time, when you're, doing physical activity, you want it to be dry. So I wouldn't go for the water personally. I'd go for some baby powder, but
Oh no,
to each
I
his
mean
own.
right on I'm telling you on live television, his coach just opened up his pants, he dumped a little Poland Spring down there, and that was it. And I was like, "Oh my god, what the hell?" I was like excited about it, but I was like also I didn't know what was going
And
on.
I'm sure hot wet balls creates drag. Because when balls are hot, they expand. So if it's cold water, it might shrink it up a little bit, and that way get a little more motion going on down there.
Oh god, I honestly I didn't even take it that far, but that's I thought though, like I was like, okay, that makes sense though. Like you don't want your balls to be microwaved. And I was like, I said to my friend, I'm like, why don't we do this in all sports? And he was like, that's a good question.
I'm telling you, on average, most athletes want it dry. So I'm telling you, it's a little strange still. I get why he's doing it, but it's a strange thing to do.
I kind of thought too, like, why aren't we doing this during sex? Like just a nice mist to the undercarriage during coitus.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, I don't know.
I got to be honest though. I don't like sex in a shower. It's a little too slippery.
Well, no, but I think that there's something to be said for like cooling the area down and not getting it too like sweaty. Like I for one am spearheading the movement on what I like to call sack spritzing from here on out. And I also I want to start like like a line of sack spritzers, because here's the thing, like I actually like and a bunch of girls will know what this is, but I have one of those like Evian water misters. It's used for makeup, right? You can get it at CVS, and I'm like, okay, now we need that, but specifically for testicles. Like that would be so great. Imagine like Breeze ball spritzers. I think it would. I would make a killing.
No guy wants to use a male product that says Brie on it. So I mean, if you want to borrow my name, call it Al's.
Well, no, but I feel like if it's me, like it's on brand, like it's sexual, like and then it could be like me on like it could be me on the bottle, like holding up two balls, like freshly watered balls in my hands.
Name one male product that has a woman on it. It doesn't exist unless it's like
Playboy.
jack off material.
Playboy.
Yeah, jack off material.
Well, I don't know. Well, whatever. I guess we can use another person, but I'm just saying that I think this product has legs, and I also
Think
don't think.
think dude wipes. Have you seen dude wipes?
No, and honestly, Al, that the name does not sound very cute, to be honest with you.
But it's targeted for males because it's dude, and the whole packaging is for males.
I know. I just think that like Breeze ball spritzing sounds a lot more pleasant than like dude wipes. Like that sounds like ugh, like you're gonna clean up
I
something
think I
gross.
could use some workshopping.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, again, like, we need to, it needs to be like a double blind study, but I do think that this product has legs. And I also don't think men should be ashamed if they need a little rain down there every once in a while, you know? Because,
Totally
listen,
agree.
like, I also think that's why, as a society, we should move to kilts. We should normalize men wearing skirts, you know? Like, just let them breathe.
Absolutely. I had to wear a skirt one time for cosplay. I was Kyle's mom from South Park, and I
Oh
got to
my
tell you,
God.
that day was wonderful. So much air down there.
I know. Listen, that's why I go commando all the time. I don't wear underwear, and people are like,
Wow.
"Oh, really?" And I'm like, it's better for you. Literally, you can look it up. It's better for your pH. It's better for you to let air be down there. So I'm all for it. And
Aren't you
honestly, I
worried
always
of
say
like outside debris getting in there?
no because well, especially not for me because the vagina is a self cleansing organ, so that I don't worry about.
Really?
You don't want like germs grow in dark, wet, moist places, so you don't want that.
Well, that sounds like a vagina.
Well, it as a whole, yeah, but again, it's a self-cleansing organ, but you don't want to make it worse by like trapping it with something, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
I'm all for like we should bring the kilts in and like watch how stronger future generations are when they come from balls that are cool and they're like free range balls, like free range chicken, it's free range balls. I guarantee you, I think it'll be great.
Well, it takes a trend center, so you need to get a guy on board there.
And that's what I'm saying. I think UFC is the perfect thing because it's macho dudes, right? So if I can convince them to do it and make it like a manly thing, like for your sperm count and your balls, I guarantee I can make other guys want to wear it too.
I agree.
So, but yeah, so that's basically how I've been spending my time the last 48 hours, just thinking of different ways to make balls better. So you're welcome, guys. That's what I've been devoting my time to.
Sounds like a Shark Tank idea, if you ask me.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah. I would love to go on that show. I feel like, again, like even if they don't pick up my product, it would be like high comedy, just me being there trying to pitch them
I feel like you
anything.
belong on the show, like as one of the what do you call them, hosts. You just need a little more money, but I feel
Well,
like you'd
a
be
lot more
perfect.
money. Yeah, I could also see myself dating Mark Cuban. Is he single?
No, he is not, but yeah,
But he
I'm
could
in love with
be.
Mark
No, I'm
Cuban. I
like,
get it.
I mean, no, just kidding. I wouldn't break up a marriage, but there's got to be somebody on that show that's single. Bethany or the other guy that's on there, like the white haired guy. I mean,
Probably.
whatever.
I imagine most of them are.
Speaking of dudes, though, and I know you and I have talked about this at length, um, my my male Republican fan base has grown exponentially over the last 6 months. I think a lot of it has to do with me, covering UFC and being interested in UFC and mixed martial arts. But like nowadays, I have so many people who follow me who are like, big Trump supporters and the whole 9 yards. And I'm obviously not. So it's kind of hysterical to me that this is like my growing or my burgeoning fan base. And it's like a little bit difficult right now because I kind of want to celebrate the Biden win, but I don't want to hurt like I know they're already
Oh,
going through a
come
tough
on,
time.
Brave. Celebrate. The whole world's celebrating right now.
That's true. That's true. But I just, I know I really shouldn't feel bad, but I do feel a little bad. So I find myself posting up more stories and photos with copious amounts of cleavage, or playmates from the 80s, just to kind of throw them a bone. I don't know. I know I shouldn't feel bad, but I do. I know they're going through a rough time. I'm trying to make it a little easier for them, trying to,
So you're saying these risque photos are targeted toward your Republican following?
well, No, but I do know that they're going to appreciate them very like more so than the others.
Why?
I mean, who doesn't appreciate a good rack? That's American.
So yeah, exactly. So these titty pictures are for everyone.
Well, of course, they're for every. No, they are for everybody. But it's like I would like to think of them as something that brings everybody together. You know, these are bipartisan boobs on my body.
Yes. Yes,
And
I agree.
yeah, and they just want to bring everyone together. And I mean, especially at this time when everybody's like, all up in arms about, one thing or another. I feel like everybody's upset. And I also told you I'm going to do a video about this as well, that I'm going to get my gun license in California, or my gun permit.
Wow, that's exciting.
I know. I'm really excited about it. And so I'm applying. I'm sure the application will be no big deal. But I also obviously want to get some hours in at the shooting range so I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to do that here in New Jersey with a police officer. We're going to shoot a video about it. And I'm hoping that it'll be like, like a nice conversation, a funny conversation to try to, ease tensions.
Or it can go horribly wrong and you lose a limb.
Yeah.
And you never use a gun again.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that I would lose a limb. I mean, you know me. Like I'm a crazy, Aries. So like if anybody's losing a limb at the shooting range, I can assure you it's not going to be me. It's going to be somebody that pissed me off.
There's Ricochet. I'd be careful. Just saying, it's a dangerous game you're entering right now, Brie.
No, it is, but I just feel like, again, I feel like it'll appease my Republican followers for me to be, exercising my Second Amendment right.
And you'll be safe.
And I'll be safe, yeah, because I have some crazy people in my DMs these days. So I feel like it'll give me at least the illusion that I'm safer.
Yeah. And
I
on
don't
the
know.
street,
I mean, like maybe
these people
somebody
are running around.
Yeah, and maybe somebody will cast me, in like an Annie Oakley biopic, or like a porn parody at the very least. But one of the two, they might want me,
Or a barbed wire remake, a la Pamela Anderson.
Oh my God, that would be like my dream.
Yeah.
My friends are not allowed to bring up to me the fact that Kendall Jenner dressed as barbed wire for Halloween. Like, a few people were like, "Oh, did you?" And I'm like, "Don't bring it up because I'm pissed off about it. It was not her place or her because everybody knows that Pam is my thing. Okay, she can't just fucking take it. All right. I mean, honestly, no, I won't allow it. I'm mad about it. So, Kendall Jenner,
have you ever
I'm coming
gone blonde?
for you. You know what, Al? Actually, more importantly. What do you think I would look like as a blonde? Every once in a while, I'm like, bored, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should dye my hair platinum blonde. What do you think?
I would love to see it. I think it worked. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Have you tried just like using an app?
Well, I was dirty blonde at one point in high school.
That doesn't count.
You want it to be like full on, like hair falling out, platinum blonde.
Yeah, exactly. Like horrible for your hair, platinum blonde.
Try it out. I don't know that I would ever like be like that permanently, but I feel like especially during the pandemic when you have like nothing else to live for, there's like a part of me that's like I should just try it. Like just to do it and have some fun, and then again before like all of my hair, falls back like I survived a nuclear holocaust, then I'll change it back to being a brunette.
I think that's a plan. I'm all for it.
I'm into it. All right, we're at 18 minutes. I know it's a little bit of a short episode, but again, my sister has to fall asleep, and I really don't want to get kicked out of the house before Christmas. So I think we're going to wrap it up. But on that note, is there anything you want to say to wrap it up, to the viewers, anything at all before we officially close out?
I just one question for you, actually. What do you want for Christmas? Is there something that on your mind that you really need?
Oh my God, are we there yet? I feel like we didn't even hit Thanksgiving. Like, you want me. By the way, I look like a turkey. I know you can't see me, but I literally have on this like brown dress and I'm like semi-tan. I feel like I'm like a turkey basting in the oven.
Thanksgiving is only the commencement to Christmas. That's what it is. So I'd like to think just being ahead of the game right now. I mean, maybe think about it. Maybe next episode, tell me what you want for Christmas.
Well, I already know what I want for Christmas. I want to have sex.
You do.
I want, like, that's what I want for Christmas. It's been almost 3 years, and I would like some dick for Christmas.
Well, are you trying? You're in Jersey right now. Are you on Bumble or on whatever you girls use?
Whatever women use these days. No, I am. I'm trying, and I have some I don't want to like jinx it, but I have a prospect
Oh.
that I'm hoping will work out. Because I think after 3 years you actually have to move to a convent and become a nun. That's what I've heard. And I don't want to do that. So I'm hoping that you know the former happens before the latter. So that's really what I want for Christmas. Although again, don't tell my parents because it'll just be yet another thing. Another thing to cut me out of the will, so.
Are you going to take this guy to your trailer or go to his place?
Oh my God, no. But I at least once a week, I think of the phrase, you know, if the scamp is a rockin', don't come a knockin', which is like the inner hillbilly in me coming out thinking that's funny. But no, he's not coming into the scamp, no. Because, by the way, in the scamp, I'll have you know that, like, if I'm in bed, even if I shift a little in the night, the whole thing moves. And that's just, like, if I'm moving in bed. So, I mean, yeah.
So you got a big guy in there? Yeah, who knows?
Oh, my God, no. Actually, honestly, I think the thing would tip over. It's a little top-heavy. So, could you imagine if the scamp tipped over in the middle of the night and the police had to come because like, a man was in there? Like, I can't. I mean... In knowing my luck, that would happen. So yeah, no, he's definitely not coming into the scamp. That's for sure. But yeah, I think that's a great note to end on. Actually, coitus and the scamp tipping over. So that being said, until next week, you guys, cases are on the rise, and you know I'm Dr. Fauci's bottom bitch. So I'm gonna tell everybody. Please adhere to the guidelines. Please be safe. We need to beat the curve. So that's just like my little PSA. I'm not getting paid for it, but I'm just hoping that Dr. Fauci wants a second wife. So that's really why I'm saying it. But until next time, guys, the twins and I now love you. And we will see you here again next week for another update. But until then, guys.
Whoa!